Hey guys, BigSword.com with your morning news, your Horn of Z's. Good morning. I told you things were going to get crazy. They have gotten crazy officially. It's going to get worse, unfortunately. Everything that's spinning around is completely out of control, it seems like, and in a way it is. The takedown of the bad guys was never going to be pretty. It was never going to be smooth. It's going to get a lot worse. So just be prepared for a lot of chaos, even a whole lot more than we have today. Today is nothing compared to what's coming down. Just to point you guys to SGT Report. Just finished an interview yesterday that was posted with Sean, my good friend. We talk about Seth Rich stuff. We talk about the takedown of the bad guys. And we also talk about cryptocurrencies and gold and silver and kind of where things are going. Very important interview. Check that one out if you're interested in that kind of stuff from the Road to Ruta angle. Sean has been fighting this fight and is very passionate about taking down the Clintons and the whole bad guy side of things. And he's a leader in that movement. And you know how it becomes that someone's a leader. It's usually when you dig in deep enough and you're passionate about it. So listen to that interview and you'll see how passionate Sean is about what he's trying to do. And support him all you can because he is definitely one of those YouTubers who got defunded. So try to help him out if you have the cash. If you have the Bitcoin, I'm sure he takes Bitcoin. Just send him some Bitcoin. I'm sure he has his public address on his website. I think he should. Sean, if you're listening, put your public address up there and donate some of that Bitcoin that we are all making millions of dollars off. Bitcoin, Ethereum are going crazy right now, but I'll get to that in a second. A lot of people have asked about my YouTube posting yesterday about the Manchester bombing being a false flag. It was taken down almost immediately. There was some information there. There's a ton of information coming out now about the potential that this was a false flag. As you will notice, 21,000 people in there, all of them kids with cell phones, and very, very, very few pictures, if any, of the wounded and the dead. Supposedly, there's supposedly 22 people died, 50 plus wounded, a couple pictures of people with band-aids around their knees practically in their leg. For some reason, their leg torn off their pants. It's like one of the only injuries there. As with everything in these false flags, just wait till the information comes out. I was a little premature in putting out my stuff, but the information's coming in. A lot of people that they claimed officially to have died have been found. One girl was in Australia that they posted her picture and said, "Oh my God, she's dead. This innocent child." So you're going to hear both sides of the story. You're going to hear a lot of pushback if you claim this is a false flag. They'll say things like, "Oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist. These are children we're talking about." And I just want to remind everybody what happened after 9/11. 9/11 happened. The director of Homeland Security was a guy named Michael Chertoff. Chertoff was on BBC News last night talking about comparing 9/11 to the Manchester bombing. My friends in the UK, be very, very careful about what the laws they're going to try to push through, because that's exactly what he did on 9/11. He was one of the main authors of the Patriot Act. Now, the Patriot Act changed the way Americans live today. It changed everything about our free country. And Michael Chertoff was the main author, the director of Homeland Security. The Patriot Act was 300-page report stripping away almost all of our liberties. And it was started to be pushed through Congress just 2 weeks after 9/11. 300 pages written in legalese 2 weeks after 9/11. Clearly, it was already written, already ready to go. It was signed into law in October of 2001, and it absolutely ripped the heart out of America's freedom. And here's a website at Mother Jones called How 9/11 Changed the Law. I'll just go through a couple of them. The law changed. The FISA Amendment Act of 2008 allowed foreign intelligence surveillance courts to authorize warrantless surveillance of Americans' international electronic communications. In 2005, the New York Times reported on the Bush administration's secret wiretapping of American citizens since 9/11. Civil liberty advocates were outraged, but it didn't stop Congress from passing this law in 2008, essentially legalizing certain aspects of the system. And a lot of the Patriot Act was just the ground, breaking open or destroying our civil liberties so other things could be added onto the top. The U.S. Patriot Act authorized sneak and peek searches, which are warrants. These warrants allow the government to search your home or your business without telling you about it until months later. Although the national security concerns were the stated justification for this authority, these warrants are issued overwhelmingly in drug cases, with less than 1% used in terrorism cases. Again, the Patriot Act expanded the authority of the FBI to issue national security letters, NSLs, requesting information from and about Americans. The Patriot Act criminalized pure speech in furtherance of the non-criminal acts of terrorists. The U.S. Patriot Act expanded 18 U.C. 2339, which criminalizes giving material support to terrorists, to include expert advice or assistance as a prohibited form of support. Under previous Supreme Court precedent, pure speech could be criminalized only if it had the intent and likely effect of furthering a group's illegal aims. In 2010, they go through how that law changed. Now remember, the Patriot Act was the basis for everything. Everything changed when the Patriot Act was put in place, and all your freedoms in the U.S. were stripped, such that you think you had freedoms, but you really don't behind the scenes, and a lot of it's computer related. They're watching this video right now as I'm taping. There is a cell phone on my desk right now. It is off, but they are still listening through it while it is off. That's how the Patriot Act changed America. U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Department of Homeland Security allowed suspicionless searches of documents and electronic devices carried by U.S. citizens returning from overseas travel. Attorney General guidelines for domestic FBI operations. It just goes down a list of amazing things that you don't even notice. You don't even notice you're being stripped of your liberty. So everybody in the UK, think about, before you allow these people to pull on your heartstrings, whether people died or not, you cannot sacrifice your liberty and your freedom for safety. That is just the worst thing you can do, because as this document shows, everything gets added on to that. In the UK, they're going to do the same thing they did to us. They're going to release a Patriot Act UK version, and then everything else will be layered on top of that, and all of it is designed to strip your freedoms away. Whether or not this was a false flag or a real terrorist attack, it is becoming very, very, very clear that it is a false flag, absolutely. You don't see bodies, you don't see videotape of anything other than people rushing out. Remember, 21,000 people, all with cell phones, were in that auditorium, and you're hearing very little about the 50 injured. Why don't we interview every single one of those people and see if they were paid actors, or were they involved with paid actors? And usually in these false flags, people really die. I mean, 9/11 was a great example. Thousands of people died who were not in on the scam. But yeah, false flags do kill people, and hopefully no one died in the UK false flag, but it is definitely a false flag. You can tell. The only picture of bodies are these kind of pixelated bodies that are blanked out, and a really bizarre stripe of blood, two stripes of blood. It almost looks like a paintbrush pulled it. And if they're trying to say, oh, someone was dragged who was bleeding, and that was their footprints were dragged in two straight lines, that's ridiculous. Give me a break. That's what their feet were bleeding and they were dragged, and so that's why you have these two paint stripes down the side. There should be pictures of 70, 80 people piled up, and the size of that type of bomb to create that kind of damage would be gigantic. So just take everything with a grain of salt. More and more information will be coming out. There was a pre-terrorist, what do they call it? A training exercise about 7 miles away a year before, at the Trafalgar shopping mall, where the exact same thing happened. Exact same. There's film of it. Look it up. It's not Trafalgar. I think of Trafalgar, the commodity company. It starts with a T, but look up the training exercise that they did in May of 2016, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. A suicide bomber, and everybody's got goggles on and earplugs and fake blood and spurting out and all that. Crazy days, my friends. You got to be smart. Don't give up your liberty for anything. You know, in the United States, we learned the hard way. Now our country has been destroyed as far as freedom goes, and it was learned from the CIA and the NSA documents that our lovely government has the legal right to be in every electronic device, and they are around the world. So be careful. The fight goes on. Continue the fight. Now let's get to the news of the day. One of the news items of the day that I am really excited about: the cryptocurrencies. Absolutely out of control, as predicted on Road to Ruta. If you've been following the Road to Ruta, if you joined the private road membership, you've already paid for it, and your Bitcoin is going crazy. That could be your savings account for the rest of your life. Again, you can join Road to Ruta. Just go to the roadtoruta.com website, sign up for an annual subscription, and I send you $30 in hard copy Bitcoin. It can't be that. It's not that hard. And yes, Bitcoin is currently at $2,472. Remember, guys, when it was $200? And I was saying this subscription is going to pay for itself. Well, it officially has, and more. And now you're sitting with this, this hard copy Bitcoin. Even if you don't even believe in it, hang on to that Bitcoin. Hang on to that Bitcoin, because as Bitcoin hits $10,000, $100,000, $1 million a coin, that thing's going to be worth a lot of money, and it's all because you subscribed to the Road to Ruta. Crazy, I know. And then those who took my advice on Ethereum are really happy. I mean, Ethereum is going bonkers. It was just $7 not too long ago. Now it's $225, a long way to go for Ethereum. Go back and listen to my old interviews on Ethereum and how important it is as a new technology, not as a cryptocurrency, but as a new technology and a platform to build our future on top of. Crazy stuff, I know, but yeah, the cryptos are going to be really volatile also. So just be careful, get in, and close your eyes. And a good idea is get in, get your Bitcoin offline in a paper wallet. It's just like cash. You hold it in your hand, and a wallet is just two things. It's a public address and a private address. A public code and a private code. That's all a wallet is. And to get that code, get that wallet back online to spend it, all you need is your private code. So I suggest everybody do some research. For you Road to Ruta members, private road members, there's a Bitcoin Assistance Program page. It shows you how to buy Bitcoin and how to get it offline. I'm going to do some things with Ethereum to help you out there too. It's a little more complicated, but not that bad. And also, those of you investing in the other cryptocurrencies, some will survive and some won't. In the long run, Cliff High's data has Bitcoin and Ethereum. And anything else? There's a couple stragglers, but long run data is a lot of Bitcoin and a lot of Ethereum. So if you look at the top of this page right here, the coin market caps, I think I can get to the top. Well, maybe I can't. There's over 700 cryptocurrencies right now and growing. And some of them are up like 2,000% in the last month. And some of them are complete scams. And some of them will be gone in a blink of an eye when the banks crash. So my suggestion is go with the safe ones, Bitcoin, Ethereum. And if you want to play the speculator, you think you can get it in and out at certain timing moments in this crazy, insane move, yeah, play in the other ones. The top 10 are probably the ones that will be around. A lot of them, I would say the bottom 650 won't be around. So just be careful out there. But if you're a trader or speculator, out to have a little fun in the markets, go for it. Get out there and swap currencies around. But remember, at some point the banks are going to crash, and all the online exchanges like Coinbase and the Kraken and Gemini, which is the Winklevoss twins exchange, almost all of those will crash with the banking crash. So make sure you get your Bitcoin offline, into your own possession. Just like silver, get it out of the possession of anybody else. I don't care how great the person is who is holding your metal. They won't survive a banking crash. They have to pay their employees, and the guards of that vault that control the metal will walk off with the metal because they have to take care of their own families. This is life or death for them, and they're, no, now is the time to have it in your own possession. All right, we're moving on. So cryptocurrencies, it's going to be very volatile. Get ready for 50% drop and 100% rise. But in the long run, it's going to go like this. Bitcoin and Ethereum are just going to, boom, skyrocket. An interesting time will be when everybody moves out of the fringe cryptos into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because something really interesting that I always try to remind myself when I look at the Bitcoin market cap right now is $40 billion. Does that mean that Bitcoin is sitting there somewhere and there's $40 billion that is sitting there invested in it? No, it does not. It means the last trade that was recorded for Bitcoin was $2,472. That single trade, $2,000, determines the market cap. You take that single trade of one Bitcoin that went for $2,472 times the amount of Bitcoin in circulation, which is $16,348. Do the math. That will give you the market cap of $40 billion. If tomorrow Bitcoin trades for $1, if the last recorded price was $1 for one Bitcoin, the market cap of Bitcoin would be $16,348,775. That's how market cap is determined. Remember, these are exchanges trading back and forth, and these are just exchanges. That's another thing to remember, is that most Bitcoin is not even on an exchange. Most Bitcoin is in someone's personal storage device, in their paper wallet or their offline electronic wallet, like a Trezor. That's where most of the Bitcoin is. And then there's the play Bitcoin. Probably a couple million Bitcoin is all we're talking about in the exchanges determining price. So it is a mindset, and the same thing goes with silver and gold and anything that is traded on any market. It's the last trade, and it could be for 1 million shares of Apple Computer or just one share of Apple Computer, that the market cap is determined and the value of that stock is determined. That's the last trade. It's hard to think that way, but and then a lot of people say, well, the markets are liquid, so yeah, there's a lot of people holding at that price and a lot of people willing to buy, and the market equals that out, kind of. But I would say all exchanges now are derivative exchanges. Even stocks and bonds. I mean, if you even think about it, the stocks and bonds are not really in your possession if you understand what's going on at the DTCC. And you might think that your portfolio, that your Schwab account, they say you own 10 shares of Apple stock. They didn't buy it and put it in your name. They did not buy it and put it in your name. It is not in your name legally. It's in the name of Seed and Company. You're part of that machine that rotates stocks in and out. The DTCC, the SEC even admits that 300 million shares every single day don't get settled. Meaning you buy it, and you think it's in your account, and Schwab shows you a statement that says you're in your account, but they don't go out and finish the transaction, exchange money, exchange title, exchange contracts. It just doesn't happen in today's world anymore. That's why the DTCC is trying to go fully electronic, which they're trying to get Blythe Masters in there to help them do that. It's so much criminality and the fraud. Bart Chilton wrote a book, the old CFTC commissioner, who tried his best but got chewed up by the machine, wrote a book called Ponzimodium, and how everything is a Ponzi scheme now, and there's 10 owners for every share, especially like even in Bitcoin in the exchanges. China had huge volumes going in their exchanges when there's only 16 million Bitcoin out there, and it was everything within an exchange is not a blockchain transaction. Remember that. It's not Bitcoin that is being recorded, Bitcoin trades. It's only when the Bitcoin is removed from the exchange does it go on the blockchain. Very important, because if you leave your Bitcoin in these exchanges, they will go poof, just like Mt. Gox happened. Mt. Gox was not a hack. It was people started withdrawing their Bitcoin, and Mt. Gox didn't have it. They needed the continual churn of millions of coins per day. And then in the end, it was found out that they only had 650,000 coins when their volumes for the whole year were multi-millions. So be very careful with everything you do, and now is the time to be ultra careful with your assets and keep them in your own possession without any third party between you and your assets. I always get people saying, well, I keep it with this very trusted source and I trust this person. That person will even if they are trustworthy, they'll have no say over getting the metal to you. Who are they going to use? They can't pay their drivers of the security van to bring your metal to your front door because the banks have collapsed. You got to think through the size and scope of the looming collapse. When a too big to fail collapses, what happens? All right, we're going to run through some quick zero hedge stuff, and then that's it for today. I got a few more videos I want to bring forth. Let me get to zero hedge. Britain slams U.S. for leaking details about suicide bomber who did not act alone. Had proven links to ISIS. Of course, they're going to blame ISIS. Pretty soon, the UK is going to, within 2 weeks, they'll release this thing called it won't be called the Patriot Act. It'll be called something like that. And it's already been written. It's ready to be implemented for the children. Remember, it's all for the children. Be careful, UK. It's a slippery slope, and they're going to destroy your country if you let them. If you stand up and say no more of this bullshit, you have the right and the power to do that. You just need to get in there and make it happen. These big guys, the criminals that control our lives, aren't going down without a fight, and you need to fight on a personal level. FISA court finds serious Fourth Amendment issue in Obama's widespread illegal searches of American citizens. NSA analysts had been conducting such queries in violation of that prohibition, with an institutional lack of candor on NSA's part, and emphasized that this is a very serious Fourth Amendment issue. Voila! Yes, Obama did spy on Trump. Another Trump truth bomb comes true, and Obama and his people need to go. We need to get, when Trump comes back, I think the gloves are going to be off. I think he met with the Pope today, which is really interesting. Let's see. Legendary investor Asher Eldman says, I have no doubt PPT behind market rally. Of course, again, going back to the origins of the PPT. PPT means Plunge Protection Team. And that's the government. That's Alan Greenspan's programs in the basement of the U.S. Treasury, clicking the market to buy stocks, bonds, control everything. And the more it comes out that people understand that there is no such thing as a free market, and there hasn't been since the introduction of computers in the early 70s into markets. I've proven it time and time again. I've showed you who did it and how they do it and why they're doing it, why they're prolonging the unbacked fiat monetary system. Soak up all the benefits until it gets out of hand, then crash the system. Remember, if the system crashes, the United States is the best off because we are the largest debtor country by far. We have more debt than any other country by far. And that debt goes away. Yes, electronic debt-based assets go away. I used to say electronic assets go away, but the electronic debt-based assets go away. Electronic assets such as Bitcoin will not go away. It's not debt-based asset. As long as you have it on your own possession, there's no third party, your Bitcoin will be there. And yes, it does require the internet to be up and running. If the internet is not up and running, your gold and silver will be worthless or zero as well. So then it comes to guns and food and water. So it's kind of a circular argument when the gold and silver bugs, the staunch ones say, oh, well, the internet goes down, there'll be no Bitcoin. There'll be no gold and silver worth a penny. There'll be no markets. There'll be no commerce. There'll be no interaction. There'll be no food for people to eat because of the just-in-time delivery system. So that, that argument goes to invest not in gold and silver, but guns and food and ammo. Watergate's Woodward warns smug media against Trump's hyperventilation. Odds are he's probably going to be president for the full term, 4 years, maybe even more. There's hyperventilation, too many people writing things. I worry for the business, for the perception of the business, not just Trump supporters. They see that smugness. It is true the media has completely lost it. CNN being the ringleader. Check out the video or the interview I did with Sean at SGT Report. Go there right now, sgtreport.com, and we talk about the media and how the media are not complicit with what's going on. They are co-conspirators with what's going on. Very different, because they're going to be tried and hung for their evil deeds to facilitate what's going on with the Democrats and the Republicans and the deep state. Joe Lieberman, no longer being considered for FBI director. We need a real FBI director, someone with balls who can stand up to everybody. Trump needs to stand up to everybody too. I hate to say it, Trump, don't stop working with the criminals. Expose what you have, let the people decide, and then you pick up the pieces afterwards. That's what needs to happen. Let the 650,000 emails loose that on Anthony Weiner's iPad or laptop or however they found them. There is rumors that there is a grand jury already assembled, and they are taking people out one by one. We'll see when it comes more into the headlines. I would assume there is that there's a lot of secret things going on legally behind the scenes. If you release those 650,000, it's not emails, it's files. So it's emails, videotape. Yes, Congress is shitting themselves right now. Audio tapes, all kinds of things. That Uma Abedin, the lover and confidant of Hillary, Uma Abedin's mother was the founder of the Muslim Sisterhood. It's amazing how infested our government has become. So, anyway, that's it for today. This is Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. Thank you for listening to the morning news. I know it's popular because everybody keeps subscribing, and the subscribers have gone from like 1,000 in January to 17,000 now and moving. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and go to roadtoruta.com. Get your free books. There's 2 of them. The first one just for putting your email in and subscribing to the free newsletter, and the second one is I think the second or third, maybe the first thing on the Road to Ruta website. You get the second book for free. It's a download PDF. It's called Out of the Darkness. And it's how we get out of where we are now to something new. And then if you're interested, if you like the first 2 books, there's 2 more books for sale at the, what's it called? The General Store. the Road to Ruta website have all kinds of different things on there. Go to the General Store and you can buy the second and third books and the 2017 World in 2017 Economist Magazine analysis, which we are right at that Trump card, that first card of the cover of the 2017 magazine. Not the Trump card. That's Trump on the second card. It's called the Tower card, and the Tower card in the tarot world means the destruction, the falling down of everything to rebuild it. And that's where we are. We're at that point where the whole system's going to fall. So be careful. Get your Bitcoin. Get your gold and silver. I am leaning more towards now. I was 50-50 silver to the cryptocurrencies. I'm leaning more towards 75% at cryptocurrencies and 25% in silver. It doesn't require any moves because for the cryptocurrencies, they're rising a lot faster than silver, and silver is still being suppressed. How long can it be suppressed? As long as the United States wants it to be. And I don't think Trump's going to want it to be suppressed much longer, so keep an eye on silver. But yeah, I'm maintaining now a 75% cryptocurrency and 25% silver position. And, you can either hold 1 ounce of silver, and the quantities are up to you and what you do. And if you have more faith in silver or gold, go for it. Make sure you check your relationships because cryptocurrencies are going up 20-30% per day these days, because people are learning about it and deciding, oh, well, it's a good idea to have some. And once you learn about it and get some, you're going to want more and more and more and more. And this isn't going to stop. And when the banking crashes happen, that's when it gets really chaotic. And ultimately, Bitcoin and Ethereum will be there at the other end of this transition. Same with silver and gold. Everything else, unknown. And it's up to you. Anyway, Big Weir, we'll talk to you later.